Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something right up front. Have you heard about the so-called $4,000 boost for seniors that's making headlines and lighting up phone lines at Social Security offices? Is it a real cash benefit, or just another confusing line in a tax bill that's easy to misinterpret? Well, the Acting Commissioner of Social Security, Frank Bisignano, just spoke out. And what he said has a lot of people asking new questions. He addressed the wave of calls coming into their offices. And yes, he talked directly about that $4,000 figure again. But what does it really mean? Is it money in your pocket? Or just more political smoke and mirrors? We're going to unpack all of that. But before we dive in, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps keep this space going and ensures more people get the truth behind these headlines. And tell me in the comments, do you think this $4,000 deduction is enough? Or is it just a distraction from bigger promises, like ending taxes on Social Security benefits altogether? So, here's the update everyone's talking about. Frank Bisignano, now serving as the Acting Commissioner, went on record in a recent interview to talk about the $4,000 bonus for seniors. He praised it as part of what he called the Big Beautiful Bill, the massive reconciliation package that just passed through the House and is now headed to the Senate. He said the new deduction could provide more cash flexibility for low and middle-income Social Security recipients, claiming it's proof the president delivered on his promises, just in a different form. But if you're like many people hearing this, you might be wondering, wait a second, is this really a bonus, or just fancy wording for something less impactful? Let's take a closer look at what this actually is. Despite what the headlines suggest, this is not a $4,000 check. It's not a Social Security raise. It's not even a refundable tax credit. What it is a tax deduction. That means it can reduce the amount of your income that is subject to taxation if you meet certain requirements. But here's the kicker. If you don't file taxes or your income is already too low to be taxable, this deduction may not help you at all. So when officials or media outlets say $4,000 for seniors, it creates the impression of a cash payout, when in reality, it's just a reduction in taxable income for some. Let's walk through a simple example so you can see what this really looks like. Imagine you have $20,000 in annual income. The standard deduction for individuals is, say, $15,000. That brings your taxable income down to $5,000. Now, if you qualify for this new $4,000 deduction for seniors 65 and older, your taxable income drops to just $1,000. So instead of paying taxes on $5,000, you'd pay on just $1,000. Sounds great in theory, right? But again, this only matters if you're filing taxes and your income is high enough to be taxed. For many seniors, especially those relying solely on Social Security, their income doesn't even reach that threshold, which means this deduction doesn't change a thing for them. Now, the commissioner said that they're getting daily calls from seniors asking about this $4,000. And I don't doubt that. But with 70 million people receiving Social Security, even a few hundred calls a day can seem like a surge. Why are people calling? Because when you're on a fixed income, every headline that mentions more money grabs your attention. And because, let's face it, many of us feel like we're constantly having to read between the lines. One day, it's no more taxes on Social Security. The next, it's a tax deduction that doesn't apply to everyone. The shifting language is confusing and frustrating. Let's be completely clear. This is not a benefit increase. It's not extra cash in your bank account. It won't show up on your Social Security statement. It's a tax deduction, and only if you meet the right conditions. And unfortunately, it's being offered instead of the real promise that many seniors were hoping for, An end to federal taxation on Social Security benefits. The original campaign message was crystal clear. No tax on Social Security for seniors. This deduction isn't that. It's a consolation prize, and not a particularly generous one for many retirees. So why couldn't they just pass the no tax promise? Because of something called reconciliation, a budget process that allows the Senate to pass certain bills with only 51 votes instead of the usual 60. But there's a catch. Reconciliation can't be used to make structural changes to Social Security law. So lawmakers couldn't include a full repeal of Social Security taxes in this bill. Instead, they went with what was allowed, a tax deduction for seniors who file. That depends. Ask yourself, are you over 65? Do you file a federal tax return? Does your income exceed the standard deduction? If the answer is yes, across the board, then this change might help lower your tax bill. But if your income is already below the standard deduction, or you don't file taxes at all, this change likely won't benefit you at all. That's what makes this news so frustrating for many. It sounds like universal relief, but it's really conditional relief for some. It's time to be honest about what's happening here. This $4,000 deduction is being marketed as a win for seniors. But in reality, it's a political workaround. It's not fixing the deeper issues seniors are facing: shrinking buying power, rising medical costs, and benefits that aren't keeping up with inflation. Many of you have commented before that they always find a way to say they're helping when really they're just talking. And this seems to be another example of that. But here's the good news. You're not alone in feeling this way. This community is full of smart, informed people who are asking the same questions you are. And we're going to keep speaking up and breaking things down together. So now you know what this $4,000 deduction really is and what it's not. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think this deduction helps enough people? Or is it just a watered-down response to real financial need? Let's talk in the comments. I always read what you write, and your stories truly shape the direction of this channel. If this video helped you understand the topic more clearly, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and consider sharing it with someone you know, especially other seniors trying to make sense of these changes. Thanks for being here, and until next time, take care, stay informed, and stay empowered.